Holocaust Remembrance Day. Allow the words to sink in. A day to remember the most heinous and destructive slaughter of humans in modern memory. Of course, remembering what Adolf Hitler wrought on mankind deserves more than a day, but this is a day to focus attention on certain events that helped lead the Jews and the rest of the world out from under the Nazi tyranny, and to ensure what happened in a Polish ghetto is never forgotten. Please welcome to Midpoint, Vice President of the Jewish Community Relations Council, the advocacy arm of the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County. Dr. Louise Fleischman joins us today. Dr. Fleischman, thank you so much for being here.
A pleasure to be here, Ed.
Why is it important to have one day specifically for this?
Well, it is important because it's kind of a day of reflection and remembrance. It's very easy to forget events, particularly tragic events. You know, even here we in America sometimes have this habit of trying to forget the bad things and trying to enjoy the good moments, which is good and is legitimate. But focusing on this day is precisely to reflect and to remember what happened 70 years ago or more, the rise of Nazism, which has not only a significance for the Jewish people, but also for the world as a whole. What we are trying, or at least what we are trying to do at the Jewish Federation, among other things, is not only to remember the victims of the Holocaust, also to pay homage to the survivors.
And so few left.
And so few left. That's correct. That's correct. People say that about 30 survivors die every day. But it's also to honor those who helped liberate the camps. Tonight, for instance, we are having a program in West Palm Beach that is dedicated to liberation because it's 70 years since the liberation of the concentration camps.
This is basically the Remembrance Day starts around the time of the uprising in the Warsaw Ghetto.
That is correct. That's the day that it was picked, is the uprising of the Warsaw Ghetto back in April 1943.
Is it important that as we move forward, not just there's so many documentaries and so many films that are available, but to see the tragedies of what went on, but to put it in context of the 21st century, anti-Semitism is on the rise around the world right now. We thought that defeating Hitler might stop it, but it seems to have now become a part of everyday life in Europe again, and it's spreading again, correct?
Oh, there is no question about it. And I would say the following. The worst type of anti-Semitism that we are having at this point, because I think in terms of painting swastikas, that has always happened. In terms of an anti-Semitic movement that rises here and there, that we always had that. But today we have the delegitimization of the State of Israel, the only Jewish state. And even though some people try to make a distinction between anti-Zionism, you know, the hatred of the State of Israel or the rejection of the State of Israel, and anti-Semitism, the reality is that when you attack or delegitimize or try to impose a double standard on the State of Israel, a standard that you judge Israel differently than you judge any other country, this eventually, the defamation of the State of Israel hurts many Jews. Even though people say, well, being Jewish is not the same like being a Zionist. Well, technically it's not, I agree. But in reality, most of the Jews in the world, identify with the State of Israel, see the State of Israel as an insurance policy, so to say. So the fact that today we have countries such as Iran saying we intend to destroy the State of Israel, the fact that the Jewish people is the only people that the right of self-determination is being denied. You know, because nobody questioned the right of the Germans to have Germany, even after all what happened. Nobody questions the right of the Czechs to have a state. Nobody questioned the rights of any Arab. But they are questioning the right of the Jewish people.
Now they question the right of the Jewish people on a regular basis.
That's correct. So this is anti-Semitism because it hurts.
I have about 30 seconds left. What is the one thing that people should take from this day? Everybody, not Jews and non-Jews.
I think this day is universal. I agree with you 100%, Ed. People need to think about other people's suffering. We wouldn't have thought that 70 years after the defeat of Nazism, you have ISIS, as an example, committing atrocities, burning people in boxes, decapitating people, committing atrocities without any moral constraint, without any problem of conscience. we need to reflect about where we are in terms of human rights. 300,000 people have been killed in the fields of Syria. We need to think about human rights. Genocide is a reality of today, and we need to continue to think about it, not to say that Nazism was a one-time event.
And to fight it every single day as well.
Absolutely.
Doctor, it's a pleasure for you. Thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little bit of an idea of what this day is about. Midpoint continues.